morning. So a little bit of a note on the vehicles before I start. So the vehicles, some of them are going to be really, really easy to pick out in data. Like harassment is basically just a count of numbers. But things like gaslighting, you need environmental information, and thus I don't think the reporting can be comprehensive in terms of all three of these at this time. When it comes to the design of this plan, the trifecta is stable and it's like ready to go. So the videos that I put together on the vehicles are simply for discussion purposes at this point. Now, as mentioned in the previous videos, the definition of harassment for the purpose of this reporting is simply the number. Like it's the amount of communications. And this is relatively simple to pull out in data. Like you can pull it out in the amount of words, like the number of words spoken, but you can also pull it out in the number of incidences of the trifecta. And that's what I pulled out in the chart that is provided in the report here. So within the chart, the number of incidences of the trifecta, so the count of the number of blame, threats, and demeaning incidences is the dots, and the number of words is the lines. I really have to put my brain on it to decide which one would be better for the reporting package, whether it'd be better to measure the number of incidences or whether or not it would be better to measure the number of words. I will say this, there may be a story on the variance between the two. Because the variance in between the two means that there is more abuse incidences per word spoken. Think about that. Like you have a bulk of words and there's more abuse incidences. So it kind of changes for a conversation where it's like, you're an idiot. And then there's like statements to you're an idiot, you're stupid. You're like, it would almost be a really great indicator of escalation. And that's something that I think we can probably look at when we dig into the data a little more. Now, when I talk about utilizing harassment metrics to determine escalation, like you can easily think of a situation where you've got a high conflict case, right? And words are traditionally mainstreamed at 1.8 words to 1. And then one day they escalate to 10 words to 1. And then within 2 or 3 hours, they escalate to 300 to 1 or some ridiculous number. Like that's the point that we should be intervening. So I did a couple fun experiments with the data. Again, I'm a geek. First, I wanted to, correlate harassment metrics with cop calls, because cop calls is a stagnant indicator of escalation that can be utilized. So here's the data that I pulled out here. And obviously I didn't have a lot of incidences. As we get more information on these cases, like this information will grow, and as will the knowledge. One thing I was able to pull out of this data here is that right before there was a cop call, like right before there was an incident that escalated to that level, there was an escalate in his words versus my words, like the correlation went down. What happened is right before there was a cop call, I went quiet for a couple days. And this may be a really good indicator. So the next little fun experiment I wanted to do was on holidays. Like they say, I know it's generally accepted across the board that abusers are worse on holidays or on your birthday, but I wanted to see if we could pull that out in data, and you can. This is my birthday. Guess what day it is? This was one time that I took my daughter on vacation. This was the day I told him. So yes, it's provable in data, and I get a good birthday soon. It's been a few